Hi, everybody. Welcome to class for the night of February 10th, 2025. And it's surprising to me, but we are already on week 5. So that means we are really moving through this material very well. And I'm very happy to say that everybody in the class was able to write a topic sentence or two that are going to work for their paper. So first of all, congratulations. The other thing that was really interesting to me is that in a great way, in a super positive way, is that a lot of you have a business idea in mind, or some of you have even started your own business. So there's some really good stuff in this class. And I think that we're going to have a lot to learn from each other. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to take that topic, and that topic is what we're going to be working with for the rest of the semester and what we're ultimately going to be writing our final paper on. And one thing I really want you to know is that you've already started writing your final paper. In this class, nobody chose the introduction that they wrote to, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Most of you did not choose the introduction that you wrote to be the paper that you would write on. So after we're done with this, you'll write another short introduction. Those of you that are using the same topic will be surprised to see how much you're going to have to tune up that introduction in order to make it work for this class. But so right now what you have done is you've completed an annotated bibliography that has a minimum of 5 sources referenced, 3 of which you've written a paragraph for. And what we're going to do this week is we're going to build on that writing. And the other thing that we're going to do is we are going to talk about how we frame everything as a risk analysis. Okay, so the most important thing to do before you get started with the writing, and the writing is a little lighter this week if you finished the annotated bib reference section, but there are several reading assignments, none of which are very long. There is a quality of risk analysis paper here, Warren Buffett on investing, another one on financial reporting, financial statement analysis and valuation from Cengage Learning. And then this one, which is quite bullet listy and short, but also extraordinarily valuable in terms of risk management. And we talk about this, the top 10 mistakes in financial risk management. Now, when I talk about reading assignment number 2, Warren Buffett, I think Warren Buffett is really he's a person that we can learn a lot from. But the main reason I keep bringing him up over and over again, not because he's my favorite business guy, but because he's so clear-headed on the idea of managing risk. He talks about the entire picture of risk. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs tend to focus too much on the positives, and a lot of other people focus too much on the negatives. But Buffett is just really clear. He is not working on any emotional platform at all. He's all about looking at the risk and making the decision. And that's what we're leading to in this class. So when you read these papers, I think you'll get a lot out of them, and it will bring up sort of the basis along with those sources that you've read that will carry you through the rest of the semester. One of the things I really like about reading assignment number 4, the top 10 mistakes in financial risk management, they talk about the positives as being opportunities, and they talk about the negatives as being threats. And I like the word threat because it's really indicative of what we're working against. We're not working about a certainty of doom. We're just working against, or we're working with something that could happen that doesn't have the desired outcome. The other thing that Warren Buffett talks about a lot when he talks about his opportunities is the fact that it's the biggest risk of all is losing out on an opportunity or passing up an opportunity. And the reason that we might do that is because we're occupied with other thoughts because we're afraid to put our money where our mouth is, but all of those things can be overcome by a serious risk analysis plan. So that's the stuff that we're going to be doing this week. So I would like you to read reading assignments 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in our discussion format, I want you to summarize in your annotated bibliography for your classmates what you have written about those 3 that you've done the annotated bib for. And I don't want you to necessarily cut and paste and put it in here wholesale. That's not really what I'm looking for. But now that you've written it, I would like you to paraphrase it here. So you could start with a cut and paste and then alter it to make it shorter, more concise, and also to realize that your classmates are not necessarily dealing with the same topic that you are. So the purpose of this discussion board is to share out that information so that you and your classmates can learn from each other. The next thing that we're going to start talking about then is how we write an APA 7, version 7 paper. And you can find sources for these all over the place, but this template is written to just show you what the different sections will be and what we're going to write. So when we come down to our week 8, which is not open yet, but you can see it here on your screen, there are actually 7 parts to an APA paper. And when you write an APA paper, I hate to put it this way, but you kind of feel like you're saying the same thing over and over again. And you're not, but you're examining different aspects of that same topic. So when you look, for example, at what you've done with your references, that would be the 5 sources plus anything else you read. It could be some of the stuff anything that you quote or draw on directly. Could be stuff on this page, could be those 5 sources, but everything in your reference page has to be directly part of your paper. Okay, so it's not like a theoretical inform me. It's something like this paper said blah, or I got this idea from this paper that said blah. So the literature review, part 3, actually just takes those references and puts them in that funnel of risk management, in the lens of risk management. So you talk in literature review, you talk about the papers that you're going to be using or that you do use as your references, but you don't just talk about them. You can use that idea of the annotated bibliography, but you're also kind of getting to a point, which is risk management. Now, the other parts would be the introduction, which we've already talked about. We've written an introduction, probably not the one that you're going to use for this paper, but you know what it looks like. The method says how you're viewing this. We're going to view this through the idea of risk management, and we're going to view it through looking at the positives and the negatives, which I'll step you through next week. And then the next 2 pieces are also very tied together. The results, which just says, these are the things I found. These are the threats that my business or my plan could experience. These are the opportunities that my business plan or my business or my paper could lead me to. And then the conclusions is saying, this is what I think is going to happen, or these are the steps I'm going to take in order to make the things happen that I want to happen. So you can see how they're not separate from each other. And like I said, when you're going to be the expert on this topic by the time you get this paper written. So you are going to feel like you're repeating yourself. Although for those of us who are reading it for the first time, it's not going to seem that way. When you're all done with all of the sections except the first one, you'll write the abstract. And the abstract is very short, and it is a succinct summary of what the rest of your paper says. And even though it seems like you may want to write that first, you don't even know what it is until you write the paper. So this is something I had to caution a couple of you guys about, which is if you love your topic too much, it's hard to see the downsides. And conversely, or oppositely, if you hate your topic too much, you're not going to be able to see the upside. So you have to equally balance the opportunities and threats. And then you have to develop a process or a way of thinking through it, not an actual process in the world, but a framework that says, these are the things I'm going to do in order to maximize my outcomes to the opportunity side, to the positive side of what could happen based on what I do. So for this week, you want to do the 4 reading assignments. You want to talk about your annotated bibliography, the sources that you did the annotated paragraphs for in the discussion board. You want to take a look at the template for the APA 7 paper, which we will come back to. And then you want to do this quiz. The quiz, once again, it's our 3rd quiz, but it's short answer. It's not timed or proctored. And when you open it up, you'll see that the questions are right here. So there are 3 questions. You'll answer those questions and submit that quiz. All right, so that's it for this week. We are working toward an end game, and I just really want to assure you that you are not wasting energy or backtracking or doing something outside of the paper in any way. Everything we're doing is aimed at that final paper, which will come about at the end of the 8th week of class. So you're making good progress. I'm grading your stuff along the way. If it's good, it's good. If it needs help, I will make a point of that. And so this week, you're not actually writing a section of your paper, but you are doing the material to determine what the sections of your paper will be, how they will look, and how they will sort of fit together through that lens of risk management. And the one thing I just cannot say often enough, don't ever slip over into a non-precise use of the idea of risk. If you have to get like a little sticky note and put what risk management is on your computer or on your notebook, please do, because we're not talking about risk the way we talk about it in everyday life. We're talking about it in this very specific way, and everything that we're writing in this class works toward that precise definition of risk. All right, everybody. So as you know, I'm around. Send me a text, send me an email. Whatever you need help with, I will attempt to help you in a very quick turnaround way. And I'll look forward to seeing what you have to say this week. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.